I think my I-9s are wrong. Now what am I supposed to do? Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. Now, before we get to the fixing process, let's take a look at some common I-9 mistakes. First, on the employee side, it's important that all sections are fully completed. Do not select more than one citizenship category. Be sure that all required information is provided on the form. And finally, the employee must sign and date the form where indicated. And on the employer side, make sure you list the proper document in the proper section. Do not list documents in more than one section. Remember, you can only accept a document from List A alone or a document from List B and List C together. Do not over-document by listing documents in all three sections. The company has the option of retaining copies of the provided documents, but keep in mind, if you elect to keep copies or not keep copies, you must handle all I-9 forms consistently. Now, another common mistake is failing to complete all sections correctly. For example, writing Motor Vehicles Department instead of the issuing state and the department, CADMV, or listing Social Security Administration when the Social Security card actually shows it was issued by the Department of Health and Human Services. You'll also see that you're allowed to use common abbreviations. Another common mistake is forgetting to complete the employee's first day of employment section, or missing information in the certification section, or not recording the actual date that you examine the documents. Remember, you may not request specific documents from the employee. You can only provide the employee with the list of acceptable documents. Allow them to select which documents they want to use. Oh, and forget about whiteout, correction fluid, or tape. If you make a mistake, just cross it out, put in the correct information, initial, and date. And when in doubt, check the instructions. That's what they're there for. Now, onward to the I-9 audit process. I know it makes a lot of employers nervous, but don't worry. I'm going to walk you through how to conduct your own internal audit and make corrections the right way. And after all, it's better if you catch the mistakes yourself, right? Now, while conducting I-9 self-audits isn't required by law, it's definitely a smart business practice. Think of it like a regular health checkup. It helps you catch and fix small issues before they become big problems. Now, before you dive into an audit, you need to make some important decisions. First, think about whether you want to review all your I-9s or just a sample. If you're going with a sample, you need to be really careful about how you choose which forms to review. Your selection criteria has to be neutral and non-discriminatory. For instance, you might choose to audit all I-9s from the past year or review them alphabetically. Whatever you decide, write down your selection process and criteria. This documentation could be important later. Now for me, I generally choose to do a full audit. After all, I go to all that trouble and still end up missing something. When you're actually conducting the audit, there are several key areas to examine. In Section 1, which is the employee section, you're looking for things like complete personal information, properly marked citizenship or immigration status boxes, and proper signatures and dates. But here's something really important. If you find problems in Section 1, you cannot fix them yourself. Only the employee can make corrections to Section 1. So that means you'll have to get the employee involved. That's why good communication is a must during this process. Let your employees know that you're conducting an audit. Explain why you're doing it and what they can expect. Be transparent about whether this is your own initiative or if you're responding to a government directive. Make sure employees know how to ask questions or raise concerns during the process. Now for Section 2, which is the employer section, check that it was completed within 3 business days of hire. Check that all documentation is properly recorded and all signatures and dates are present. Now, unlike Section 1, you can correct your own mistakes in Section 2, but you need to do it the right way. Let's talk about how to make proper corrections. For Section 1 issues, you'll need to have the employee make the corrections. They should draw a single line through any incorrect information, write in the correct information, and initial and date the change. Now, if they used a preparer or translator originally, that person can help with the corrections too, but they need to note their involvement. Now, for Section 2 corrections, you'll follow a similar process. Draw a line through incorrect information, enter the correct information, and initial and date the correction. Never, ever use whiteout or correction fluid or tape, and absolutely never backdate forms. That's a huge no-no that can get you in serious trouble. Now, sometimes you'll run into special situations. What if you find you're missing an I-9 completely? Well, you'll need to complete a new form right away using the current version. Use the actual current date, remember no backdating, and attach a signed and dated explanation of why you're completing it now. Or what if the person no longer works for you? Just write a statement identifying the error or omission. Explain why corrections could not be made, meaning the employee is no longer at the company. Sign and date the statement and attach it to the original form. Now, if you discover you used the wrong version of the form, don't panic. As long as the documentation was acceptable when the form was originally completed, you have options. You can either staple the old form to a blank current version and explain why, or just attach an explanation to the old form. You only need to complete a new form if there are other issues that need to be addressed. Now, here's something really important. During this process, you cannot request specific documents from employees who need to present new documentation. Be sure to let them choose which acceptable documents to present, just like during the initial I-9 process. Give people reasonable time to gather new documents if needed, and be consistent in how you handle similar situations. Now, throughout the audit, document everything. Keep clear records of your process. Note why and how corrections were made, and maintain everything with your I-9 files. Be consistent in how you handle similar errors and apply the same standards to all employees. And always, always maintain privacy. Discuss issues with employees privately and keep all I-9 information secure. And one final thought. Try to view this process as an opportunity for improvement rather than just a compliance exercise. Use what you learned to update your procedures and maybe implement regular self-audits to catch issues early. Remember, the goal here isn't absolute perfection. It's compliance and continuous improvement. Handle issues professionally and consistently. Maintain clear documentation, and you'll be in good shape. Now, if you still have questions, I put a link in the description to U.S. Customs Enforcement Guidance on I-9 audits. Be sure to check it out. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe and share. And if you could use some help as you navigate leading and managing a team, check out the Leader's Journey Masterclass. We're here for you with micro courses, templates, guides, and a great community to answer your questions, quickly help you grow a team of superstars, and get you back to the business of running your business. Just use the link in the description for details. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.